Hello everyone, welcome back to SuperJump 2. We are in round 1 of Redemption Bracket with Sleeping Seals versus Vortex. My name is Scepidilionz and I am here with the fabulous AcidSunshine. Melissa, how are you doing on this wonderful morning?
I am doing great. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to get the chance to cast with you today. I feel like it's been a long time coming, so I'm really looking forward to today.
Me too. We've commentated a lot of the same events in the past. A couple of them speckled here and there, but we've never actually shared the mic. But your commentary is something that everyone always speaks of as being so warm and welcoming. So I'm really excited for today, Melissa.
Oh, you're making me blush. I'm excited too. We have really great teams that we're watching too, so I am so excited to get into this.
Me too! Sleeping Seals is a team that's been around for a hot minute. I've faced them before in a couple of different tournaments, so being able to see them here on the biggest tournament of the year is always something that's very exciting. And then Vortex is a pickup of some familiar Slayers that have been around for a hot minute. It does look like Slayer has a different clan tag there than what they've had in the past, so probably on a new team. I believe Vortex is a pickup, but Toasty, a very talented low-level charger player, so looking forward to seeing some snipes.
It's always fun to see some snipes, especially if it's a player who that's what they main, that's what they do, that's what they love. Just being able to watch them hit those 6 shots over and over and over again is the height of excitement for these matches.
It is, and we will be starting on Splatzone's Inkblot, which is a rather dominant charger map. There's so much that any charger can do and situate themselves with for Splatzone's Inkblot. I think out of the kits that I saw that Toasty played on Sendo, I think either a Firefin or a V-Charger could be very good here, because it's difficult, it's precarious to cap zone on Splatzone's Inkblot simply because of how it's split up with that giant tower in the middle. So you really have to watch how you're approaching that zone, and it has to be from both sides in unison unless you just want to run in and get as many picks on the floor as you can. But to approach the situation strategically, Splatzone's Inkblot, it can deceivingly lock out. So good team play is required.
It can. I think it's going to be really exciting to see how they all come together to tackle that. Like you said, you have to approach it on both sides. And we have them loading in right now. So really great stuff so far. I think on the side of Vortex, it looks like a lot of the things that you had predicted here. We do have Toasty with that charger. And already we have a little bit of a flank coming around here. Unable to get that though. They are found out, but they have another teammate come in to assist. Slay is looking like they're setting up a wall, trying to defend as they take an early lead in the first couple seconds here.
And pushing back the members of Sleeping Seals, getting them back onto that plat. The Booyah coming out, that's going to provide a lot of stimulus, a lot of tripping hazards on that plat as Sleeping Seals does go 2 down. The members of Vortex not pushing up yet too far. The H-Jet does come out, though, with that bomb rush. That's going to delay Sleeping Seals' approach, but the Foil Squeezer Aduli tries to go in for a hero play into that zone, dropping straight forward, and does get shut down by the members of Vortex.
I think they had to use those bubbles a little early, which didn't exactly help them there. They wanted to use them to take zone. They tried to get one in there, but they were already found out at that point. They didn't have anyone to help support them. That being said, within these last couple of seconds, we've had a huge change over here. 3 down. Now we're at a staggered spawn situation for Vortex, so they're going to have to be a lot more careful as they come back in here. We have a long, long way to go for Sleeping Seals to take this lead, but we'll see if they're able to do it.
Yeah, that's something that Vortex's comp does favor, is the lockout scenario with the additional range from that charger, as well as the Booyah, particularly on this map. There's so much lockout potential with that comp in particular. Vortex trying to push back in with that 52 on the right side, and they do manage to get the Slayer, Toasty, and Pixie there, all in zone, swarming that around. They have managed to get down a significant amount of paint here as Toasty takes top mid, which is exactly where you don't want that player to be.
Yeah, that's the terrifying look right there, to see your charger up on top of top mid, and now we get this Inkjet coming out who has 3 players that we're targeting to take Pixie down. Unfortunately, not able to do so. Backs off and just allows support for the rest of the team. Unfortunately, they do have to back out of zone a little bit as we get Sloshy and some of those bubbles out asking as coverage, and then taken out. That is a full wipe out for Vortex here, which is going to be a lot harder for them to come back right now, especially with such a small amount of time available.
Yeah, even the junior pushing up on your plat, and it's you're in a pickle situation when the junior is opting to push and hold forward this instead of maintaining that zone and playing objective. So even though you lose those players in the end, sometimes that aggro is worth it if it means stalling out your opponents from zone. Vortex taking game 1 in a rather clean fashion. There was a couple of moments where Sleeping Seals was able to push back in, and they were able to situate themselves cleanly, but approaching from center, and that's something you can't do against a charger, because where is that charger going to be looking? They're going to be looking in front. But where are they not watching? They're not watching those sides. So just what I mentioned with Splat Zone's Inkblot being lockout prone, Vortex's comp was well designed to situate that lockout.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think they played it really well. They did a nice job making sure that when they did go down and they did not have control of zone, they regrouped, they waited for specials, they pushed back in at the perfect time, and they were able to take that really cleanly, like you said. So I'm excited to see what we're going to get from the next one, especially because we're looking at a total different play style now. Clam Blitz on the Reef, this is completely different than Splat Zones. Clam Blitz, you have to be aware of the rest of the map. You have to spread out, you have to know where those clams are spawning. How are you going to play this? It's still lockout heavy, and that could lean in Vortex's favor here a little bit more too, especially if Toasty stays on a charger. But I think that this gives Sleeping Seals a little bit more of an opportunity to maybe play to some of their strengths as well. Yeah,
when I think Clam Blitz Reef, I do think difficulty breaking back in. Not necessarily, I mean, like, you could use the word lockout, but to me it doesn't have the same definition as it does on Inkblot or Piranha per se. There's a lot you can do to break out on Reef, but given that the basket is right there under your spawn, it's where are they looking? They're trying to prevent you from dropping, and if you find yourself in a situation where your weapons are not suited towards dealing with this type of breakout in specific, but like, say, having lethals or specific specials like Booyah Bomb, you're going to find yourself having some difficulty.
So we'll see what they are able to bring out here. We do have Toasty still on a charger there. We have a junior on each side, which I think is going to be helpful. And I really, really appreciate the slosher that we have coming out as well, because I think that that's going to be fun to watch as we get some early game here, controlling that bridge, which everyone loves to do.
And something worth noting is that is the Squiffer with the Inkjet and Suction Bomb. So that, in terms of how do you break out from a lockout, is a very necessary swap from Toasty there. Both teams vying for mid here, vying for bridge, but it is Vortex that is the first to form a power clam and start pushing their way in. They missed the dunk, however, but there's only one member of Sleeping Seals left standing, so this is an easy week 2 for them.
It is. It looks like that Booyah Bomb is also going to keep Sleeping Seals up in their zone for a little while. I like what Slay was doing right there too, holding on to one clam, just waiting for that opportunity when the basket was about to close. Looks like they did get that in there, or at least someone got one in, but really nice job from Sleeping Seals to push everyone back, and they are able to get that basket to close as they move forward. Nice job from Sloshy there too, avoiding that Suction Bomb.
Yeah, it does get picked by the K-Shot. The K-Shot coming in for a fantastic triple. So it is just Moment there underneath basket for Sleeping Seals, forced to jump out. A good jump out, though, because the last thing you want to do there is force a stagger going down with armor. They managed to clear their penalty, so any points that Vortex scores from here on out is their own. And getting a good chunk of points here is so important, given how little of the match has passed. And anything that you do from here on out could potentially just be beanbag damage.
Really fantastic play going on here. I think that Sleeping Seals is doing everything they can to kind of take those players out of Vortex as they push forward. But Vortex being so sneaky, using that ramp to be able to get a lot of those clams in, like you said, breaking down their point, able to keep going. 37 to 100 is sort of terrifying on this map when we haven't seen Sleeping Seals able to break Vortex's basket at all.
It just seems to be like the members of Vortex are going in and just getting the picks that they need to, and keeping the members of Sleeping Seals on their back foot. They're not able to properly mount a push. They're not able to get the specials that they need to break back in, just because Vortex is not leaving them alone. They are constantly in their hair. They are constantly underneath the basket, and Sleeping Seals is just forced to play perpetual defense here.
They certainly are, and that's where, how you were saying, like, it doesn't feel like super lockout right now, but they are having to continue to respawn, to continue to come back from their base and try to push out again. So to me, this is like a little bit more of a long lockout, able to finally make some moves here. They do have a power clam up. They are pushing forward. Looks like they do pick up the pity clam there, if they're able to get that jump in. They were able to jump closer to the basket, but they're under a lot of pressure over there on that left side. I'm not sure they're going to be able to make anything happen right away.
Yeah, the Squiffer and the Junior underneath basket providing such an iron wall. You have the direct shots from the Squiffer, which of course can take anybody out, but then the bombs from the Junior just say, you can't stand here. Sleeping Seals pushing up and ducking and weaving throughout those bombs to get that first clam in the basket. This is Sleeping Seals opening salvo. So what they do here is really important because it's going to show us how they're planning on playing the rest of the game. They get one power clam in, followed by another, getting it below 50 remaining, which is huge. If they manage to stall this basket open, they could take lead here.
They certainly could. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to do it, though. I think that moment was a little too far away. I didn't see what, missed the player name there, but they did have to back off there and regroup, and I think that that's kind of smart right now. They're taking bridge. They're coming back together. They do get another power clam up. They have all 4 players up. No specials. 2 specials up on Vortex as I say that. So that's going to help with defense a little bit here, but maybe we'll be able to see what Sleeping Seals can do with this.
Yeah, Toasty popping that inkjet, trying to create some space for the remaining players of Vortex to push in. They are 1 down, burning through the specials and a lot of smoke, but no fire. Slayer is picked on that bridge, so we're looking in a situation where Vortex thought they had an opportunity that they expended a lot of their special economy to go for, but now they're finding themselves on defense without anything to defend for it. Sleeping Seals taking advantage of that momentum to pull lead here in the final 30 seconds of the game. Only the Squiffer Toasty left standing for a singular defense here.
Really fantastic play right there. Exactly what you want to see. I think Moment was working to try to get another power clam. Almost able to do so. Not going to be able to. But we have so many loose clams. Is there anyone around who can kind of get those final 2 in to cinch this? I am not sure. We are going into overtime now because there is a power clam, 2 power clams available on the side of Vortex, 3 power clams available. Skep, this is 4 power clams. This is going to be it. This is going to be the moment where everything could change.
Yeah, 4 power clams and specials online. Pixie coming in to break that basket. They do need to dunk 3 of these in order to pull lead here, but one of them misses. Taco coming in and missing again. That is 2 power clams missed. It is just Toasty, and the basket closes. Just so much pressure on those players, just not close enough to hit those basket.
That's like the Melissa special right there. I can't hit a power clam to save my life in the last 30 seconds, so I feel their pain so much, but really fantastic job. Absolutely loved being able to watch them play and see the shift that we saw. The difference between zones and clams when you have the opportunity to move throughout a map, to look at some different routes, make some really sneaky plays. We saw both teams come out with some fantastic sneaks, some things that we maybe didn't expect to see. Absolutely loved that game. I mean, Clam Blitz is also my favorite mode, so there's that. But
I do love some clams for the team coordination. I think the moment that Sleeping Seals won that game is when Vortex burns through all of those specials in the final minute and a half, despite having 1 player down and not being well positioned to break the Sleeping Seals basket. At that moment, Sleeping Seals recognized, wait, they don't have anything. Let's just go in. And then they managed to break that basket and score just an absolute ton of points. which left Vortex in a situation where they had an ultimatum. You have to dunk everything you have, and that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it really is, because it puts you on the back pedal. You know, you have to find a way to clear them out really, really quickly, and it's just, it can be so much so fast that if you're not exactly paying attention to maybe where you should be looking and somebody sneaks something in, they pull a play like that, and all of a sudden your head's spinning. So really nice job from both teams there. And I'm looking forward to see what we get on the counterpick of Tower Control Starfish main stage.
Oh, I love me some TC Starfish.
Me too.
Oh my gosh. The thing that I love about this map mode in particular is the confusion, particularly if teams don't have organized comms. like, oh, there's one flanking. There's one flanking where? Like, are they behind? Are they left? Are they right? Like, where are they flanking from? Are they on attic? Are they about to drop on my head? Like, that's my favorite thing about TC Starfish is you can just see when people are confused.
Yes, and it's so nice because so many people hated this map for so long. So being able to play it now that we had some updates where people feel more comfortable, we'll see what they're able to do. I'm more worried about Sleeping Seals right here too. Please correct me if I'm being over anxious, over cautious for them, but they don't have any range. At least they don't have any range that's going to be able to take care of Toasty in such a powerful position there.
Yeah, they have the missiles and they have the inkjet to clear out the charger from the snipe, but any charger that's played TC Starfish for any moment has had to deal with missiles at the one snipe on TC Starfish. So being able to rotate out quickly, I think will determine whether or not Toasty is successful here on that defense. Just because there's so much that a charger can do, especially like first checkpoint can be a little, because it's just so close to the tower, but second checkpoint, a good charger just situated up on that window or top right could just do so much damage and completely break down a push.
Absolutely. I think their biggest thing that they're going to have to do here, which we're already seeing Sleeping Seals sort of tackle, is staying as these like little pairs, right? Because then they can take down every 1v1 becomes a 2v1 because you have someone close enough next to you who can assist and help out. They have a 3v1 right here. This is what they need to continue to do because they want to try to keep that power up, keep that aggression going, and continue to pave the way as they move that tower. We talked a little bit about objective before we came on the mic today, and I think that sort of fell apart right there because they had so many people painting back into maybe their side that they didn't really need to go at that moment, that it didn't help them. The tower reset back to mid, and they weren't able to get anywhere with that.
Yeah, and that's what I call all smoke and no fire. You're going in, you're getting paint down, you're moving, you're doing things, but what are you accomplishing? What is the thought process behind your action? Sleeping Seals is, Vortex here, getting that tower down to that second checkpoint, having cleared that first checkpoint very early in the game, finding themselves in an advantage here as only there are 2 players left standing on the side of Sleeping Seals, and those 2 players are in dangerous spots. Make that just 1 player Sleeping Seals left in the action as Vortex gets right back to that second checkpoint. That is a near wipe on Sleeping Seals. Vortex does finally manage to break that second check.
That was a fantastic play by Vortex. They did not let up on that pressure. They pushed it so far forward. They're at this final checkpoint too, and they have a lot of momentum going for them here. They're going to be able to slide that right in, and it was a very different game than we saw from Clam Blitz. I think the chaos really helped Sleeping Seals in Clam Blitz, but the unity, the teamwork, the communication probably going on from Vortex's side really showed through on this tower control map.
Yeah, and you could see very obviously why they counterpicked it. It was very comfortable for them. It was something that they were obviously very practiced on. They knew where they wanted to be looking and when. They knew the spaces that they needed to be controlling as they got to each checkpoint. So fantastic play from Vortex there and accomplishing exactly what it was that they needed to do. Breaking that first checkpoint so early in the game, particularly on TC Starfish, is just so important because once you break that second check, you deal with that whole, are they left of snipe, are they right of snipe, are they on snipe, are they going to drop on tower, do we need to be watching our tower rider like a hawk, what is going on. But when you break that first checkpoint in your opening gambit, then you enable that second checkpoint to just be so much cleaner, because it's so much easier to break that second checkpoint when you don't have to worry about defending the first.
Yes, I completely agree. Once you have an opportunity to kind of get a little bit further forward, then you can focus on as you continue to move. Obviously, that's what everyone wants to think about, right? But when you have those thoughts and that, I guess, I want to say forethought, but like I just said thought, so then, you're able to move so much faster. One thing I do want to point out, if you don't mind me interrupting our train of thought here, is eGirl Pixie had a C- on that as a ranked level. So I personally really appreciate that, because it brings back to everyone watching that you don't have to be an X-ranked player to do amazing things within a tournament. You can be whatever level you want, as long as you come, you do your best, you bring everything that you have to your games. That's what really matters there, because we just saw a fantastic team do some really great things, and they had a C-. So I supremely appreciate seeing players like that, seeing that come up, and allows other people to get the confidence that you need to maybe join the next SuperJump or any of the other fantastic tournaments that we have coming up soon.
Yeah, I will take a moment just to talk about my personal experience, if that's okay with everyone. When I started competitive Splatoon, I was B rank and A rank, and the kind of attitude that I got was you can't do anything until you're quad X.
Yep.
And there was just so much time where I would spend in scrims or league, and I felt like it was an embarrassment to have that S+0 on my record. And reality was, is I was already playing like I was X rank, just within a team setting, and all I had to do was set aside the time to grind it, and it's just a slog. So really, you can start competitive Splatoon whenever you feel that you are ready, as long as you have people who are willing to help you learn. And I was very lucky to have so many people there on my journey.
Yeah, that's really strong. Thank you so much for sharing that part of it too.
Clam Blitz Piranha.
I love another Clam Blitz. I'm so excited. Oh, it's Zone.
Slide. I lied.
Well, you know what? This worries me a little bit. I guess this was Sleeping Seal's counter pick, right? So they didn't do so great on that first zones, but this is played very, very differently. Those dual zones do change a lot of things up, how you have to enter this zone. This map can, if you get into position, can also assist with some of the lockout for that other team. We haven't seen much of a comp change in terms of what Sleeping Seals has been running, so maybe this is what they feel really good about, and they feel really good about this map and mode, so we're at that golden combination right there.
Well, look at where we are in the game right now. Sleeping Seals has gotten it down to 60 remaining in the first minute and not given Vortex any time to get in there and to stall it out. That's something that's very different about dual zone maps, is you don't need to cap the whole zone. You don't need to stall the whole zone. You need to only stall one of them. And that changes the whole game pace, and that's what we're seeing Sleeping Seals do here. They're like, oh, you're targeting this zone? That's fine, we'll get you. Oh, you're targeting that zone? That's fine, you do you. And just absolutely not giving Vortex any time to get situated, because they're rotating too quickly.
Oh, you say that, and then there we go. But Vortex held that for such a short amount of time. Toasty trying to get a couple back in. It looks like Vortex continues to kind of go down over and over again. Toasty's the only one alive, does jump back, which was a smart move right there, able to kind of stay alive for a little bit longer, but they only got it down to 96, and with a 4-point penalty, it's basically at 100 right there. So they are going to have to do a lot if they want to take this lead away from Sleeping Seals. This is probably the perfect counter pick Sleeping Seals could have gone with.
Yeah, honestly. But what was important there is getting any penalty at all. Pixie goes up the map, goes in a swim. Oh, no.
My favorite thing to see. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It hurts, but it feels so good.
Yeah.
Sleeping Seal's about to clear that penalty with just Toasty left standing. They do have that bomb rush ready to go, but can they get it off where it needs to be done? And just without any backup, you can't just pop a bomb rush and go in solo.
You can. I think that's really important. Oh my gosh, that was such like a commanding shutout game. We saw a completely different Sleeping Seals in that game than we have, I think, the rest of the match so far. And it's really nice to be able to see what they've come back. They're 2-2 right now, right? This final game is going to be our match point.
It is, yeah. Vortex taking game 1 and game 3, and Sleeping Seals taking game 2 and game 4. But this is the advantage that Vortex has by winning the first game, is now they get the counter pick on game 5, which is, at this point, the game that matters.
Yes. Counter picks, to me, are so interesting. So, back when Splatoon 2 first came out, counter picks were not a big thing in tournaments. There were a couple of reasons for this. First of all, players were using Discord, but it was still really new. Not as many people had the processes down for how are we going to do counter picks? What do we want these to look like? How are we going to make this very fast, right? So that the viewers don't have to wait as a team is counter picking. So they came up with time limits. They came up with a counter pick pool. They came up with these ideas of, hey, write this only in whatever the chat is. Battlefy, Smash GG, or Start GG. You know, whatever the platform is, that's where you write it. Don't go back and forth between Discord. People were in TODMs. It was a mess. It was a mess. And now, being able to see everything come together and watch counter picks happen so perfectly to come up with matches like this. 1-1-1-1, right? Like you said, this is where Vortex had that advantage by winning that first game. They get that last counter pick in that best of 5. They are going to have an advantage going into this too. So I'm really excited to see what we'll get for this next one.
Yeah, me too. And to take a moment to talk about that last game, Vortex only had the zone controlled for 10 seconds. So just a very different game compared to TC Starfish, where Sleeping Seals only had the tower in their control for a single second. In terms of showing what they're confident on, I wonder what Vortex is going to bring to the table here. Because Sleeping Seals won clams and won zones, but Vortex won zones and won TC. Maybe we'll see some Rainmaker.
That's what I was hoping. Maybe that'll be kind of the dividing line here to see if each team has their own preference in terms of clams and towers. Splat zones is evenly mixed, so we'll see if we'll get another Rainmaker, or we could go. I feel like I don't know the Vortex players well enough to assume what they would pick, but I think if it were me, I would potentially go for another single zone map where my Charger player has the power to sort of shut out the other team, can get set up in a really good position and sort of shut it down. Unfortunately, I'm not as familiar with the map pool as I wish I were, because then I can't make any predictions.
Yeah, and they can't counter pick zones because they already won on it.
Okay,
so
there you go.
They have
thank you.
to pick clams or Rainmaker.
Okay.
Which you have a Charger player.
Yeah.
You know, and well, honestly, like, we can laugh about it, like, haha, funny Charger player on the funny mobile modes. Realistically, like, these are competitors. Like Toasty has had to play Rainmaker and clams in a tournament before.
I don't buy into that. Chargers won't be able to be good on these, like, mobile modes, because you look at like some of our favorite streamers, right? Watch Barry play, and being able to see him command some of those mobile modes with whatever charger he picks up, and then knowing that so many of our Charger players have pocket small or something, right? They have an opportunity to move into something that maybe they'll do a little better for. Maybe they have more maneuverability. Maybe they understand the specials of a different weapon more, and
maybe they also play Siege, which I think is we're going to be seeing here most. As soon as I saw Black Belly, I was like, Charger, yay, hey, no way, we're getting that good old-fashioned Ray, and there we go.
So we have kind of a showdown with it too, right? Siege. We have, all right, so we do still have a Slosher there by Sloshy, which you had predicted early on. One goes down very quickly, so on Vortex, so that's going to be kind of an early start for Sleeping Seals to be able to push up a little bit. They need to get their paint in a really good position before they want to do any sort of big moves, though. I think that where they are now on this right-hand side, keeping that up is going to be helpful. They're 2 down on Vortex, too, so this could be the opportunity they're looking for. They pop that Ray and that Inkjet before they grab the Rainmaker. So that might have been a little preemptive there, but we'll see what they're able to do here.
Yeah, the Ray coming out from Toasty and getting a pick on the Rainmaker. Something I wanted to mention is that because Black Belly Skate Park is so large of a map and it's so spread out, this is not Muscle Forward Rainmaker. You can't just get the pop and grab.
Right.
It's just not something you can do. You have to be able to paint forward. You have to be able to paint a path. And more importantly, make a decision as to where you want to be pushing. Most teams do opt to go for that street path, but I enjoy the half-pipe path quite a bit, so hopefully we get to see that.
I have a, what's that called when you like something that everybody else hates and like a secret joy to watching that, but I know that it's just disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah, like you're watching a train crash.
Yes, a train wreck, yeah. Exactly.
Oh, man. Taco here. Ooh, half pipe. We're here. It's happening. Oh, my God, but the Ray. Can you do it, gamer? You can do it, gamer. Going down to the Ray from a dually there. But now this is the danger of the half pipe path. This is, the danger of it. Is if you go down too early in that half pipe, if you don't make it to hills, you are setting the opposing team up for a very strong counter push.
You absolutely are. That was some fantastic dodging we saw from the Rainmaker carrier right there. Able to stay alive through that Ray as we get some more support from the rest of the team on the middle of the map. They are taking that timer down a little bit, but trying to get up through that street. Booyah Bomb is going to attempt to target them. Does get that plat between street and half pipe, so that might be a little bit more difficult for them to break through. I don't think they've made much headway there, but look at this path they have paved out for them as they go through this now.
Yeah, and getting that Rainmaker all the way up into street does benefit Sleeping Seals quite a lot. That is a wipe on Vortex. Sleeping Seals grabbing the Rainmaker. They are going for the pedestal. They are going for the far side, trying to just lift through the paint, but not making it, getting it to 3 remaining. But as our previous set of commentators said on Rainmaker Black Belly, no lead is safe here.
Correct. No lead is safe. I think that's like a mantra for Rainmaker. You could be at 1 and someone still has an opportunity to dunk that in. Really smart for Vortex here to be able to just take some time, let that Rainmaker reset. They are going to paint ahead, as you mentioned earlier. You have to be ready for that. You can't just push forward. I think Sleeping Seals is also doing a nice job playing defense, though. They have so much purple ink on their side. Every time some green gets down, they're painting purple right over it. That's going to make it very difficult for Vortex to move forward, especially as Vortex continues to sort of spread out on this map, which they need to do to have options and opportunities, but it also allows Sleeping Seal to gang up on different players and take them out one by one.
Yeah, Sleeping Seal's doing a good job of staying alive, and if they do go down, they go out into the trade like we just saw with the 52 versus the T-Tech. Punchy here just sharking near the Rainmaker, really not giving anyone an opportunity to take up a shot at them. Sloshy popping up Burst Bomb Rush that's going to get paint down in mid, but really just like a whole lot of smoke and no fire. As I've said a couple of times today, it doesn't look like Vortex has many options here. Sleeping Seals is doing a great job of keeping them locked out.
They really are. I think that with almost 30 seconds left to go on this, Sleeping Seals probably feels really good, but they can't get cocky right now because that is going to be an opportunity for Vortex to push on in and, like you said earlier, take that non-safe 3-point lead right now. So we'll see what they're able to do. They are waiting it out. Toasty kind of popping another Ray right now to sort of assist. Maybe they were hoping that one of their teammates would pick up. Nope, they pick up the Rainmaker themselves. They know they have to do it. 10 seconds left. Countdown is going. Punchy versus Slay over there. Slay does get the pick, which is going to be helpful. We have a DC that came out on Sleeping Seals too. So this is Vortex's opportunity to kind of dunk this out. Obviously, we're too far forward in the game. Oh, nice. Well, the DC didn't matter.
I saw the 52 chucking the Booyah Bomb at the C-Jet mid-Ray, and I was like, this is it. Like, they're going to get the on the Ray. Like, this matters so much. Like, this is going to change the game. And then, right from the right with a swift right hook, man. The Rainmaker out for the count.
Oh, so unfortunate, but such a great great game, hype set to watch, really fantastic Splatoon playing from both teams. So excited to have the opportunity to get to cast that one, and I am really excited to see where Sleeping Seals goes from here. It's going to be really fun to see how they do things for the rest of the day, today and tomorrow. No, just tomorrow. They're just playing tomorrow.
Sleeping Seals going on to potentially to Alpha Bracket. They are going on to round 2. Vortex going on to Beta Bracket, which in SuperJump, gamers, be proud. Let's be real here. You're doing great. And Sleeping Seals has one more shot at Alpha Bracket, which is just a phenomenal achievement. So good luck to the gamers on both sides. The tournament is not over for either team.
It certainly isn't. It's going to be a lot of fun to see where they go now. I don't know why in my head I was thinking we were already in the second set, so I'm sorry. Gamer,
we still got a set to go.
Good.
We were told we get 2.
Good.
I'd be so sad if it was over so quick.
Me too. So it's going to be really fun to see what we have coming next. I'm very excited to kind of figure out how the teams play counterpicks different and what they're going to be able to do, what that sort of looks like. I don't know. I always love trying to get into the heads of what they're thinking with those. So I'm curious what we'll get, if we'll see another kind of each team takes the zones, or what will happen.
Yeah, we do have our next set selected, but we're not going to tell you yet. Melissa, I just want to take a moment to talk to you. You're someone who has been commentating within the Splatoon community for 5 years, which, that's quite something. There aren't many commentators around who have that level of history. Looking back as we're on the end of the life cycle of Splatoon 2, what is your favorite memory as a commentator?
I have a couple. So first I'll start